Well, good morning, my friends, and welcome to beautiful downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we are continuing a west to east Route 66 journey for the 100th anniversary. And as you can see by all the signage down here, old Route 66 cuts right through downtown Albuquerque, which, as you can see, has changed a lot and had a lot of new buildings added in the last 100 years, and yet still has more than its fair share of historic theaters and old buildings. There's even a little of my personal ancient history right here in downtown Albuquerque, because of course I used to tour the country in punk rock bands, and this is one of the places I played right here at the launch pad right in downtown Albuquerque, right on old Route 66. And there's well over 100 years of just layers of different styles of building. Look at this beautiful Art Deco building right next door to the launch pad. Amazing. Or take a look at this, one of the most famous historic buildings in downtown Albuquerque along old Route 66, the Chemo Theater, which opened in 1927, just a year after Route 66 got here to Albuquerque. It was a sumptuous movie palace that mixed the Pueblo architecture style with the modern Art Deco. It's considered a very rare, one-of-a-kind historic gem. People come from all around the world traveling Route 66 to stop and get a photo of the Chemo, and that's a couple of French tourists right over there taking photos. But kitty corner from it is another historic building, the Bliss Building, and look at this. Things are not so blissful at the Bliss Building as of this moment, as of May 2026, because about a month ago they had to red tag the building, and then it suffered a building collapse. This was home to the famous Route 66 institution, Lindy's Diner over there. Looks like Lindy's Diner is going to be closed for the time being, and with the side of the building off like this, it just reminds me of the end of Mars Attacks, you know. Ugh, I hope they get that touched up soon. As best I can tell, the Bliss Building was actually built in 1905, so it even predates Route 66 out here in old downtown Albuquerque. But anyways, as historic and interesting as all these buildings are in downtown Albuquerque, that's not why we actually came down here today. We came for a very special, almost one-of-a-kind Route 66 location. A lot of people have stood on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, but have you ever stood on the corner of Route 66 and Route 66? Oh, that's right. This intersection in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 4th and Central, has got two historic alignments of Route 66 running right through it. 4th Street right here was the original Route 66, dating all the way back to 1926, 100 years ago. And this gets a little technical, a little nerdy, but it's important that I explain it at the beginning of this particular video. Route 66 used to go north and south through downtown Albuquerque, because if you're going eastbound like us, it used to swing wildly to the south, then cut up north through Albuquerque along 4th Street, all the way up to Santa Fe, New Mexico, the capital of New Mexico. That old original alignment of Route 66 going up to Santa Fe was later bypassed underneath in 1937 by a new section of Route 66 that just simply went east to west, known as the Santa Fe Cutoff, which came right through downtown Albuquerque on Central Avenue, meaning the new 1937 and onwards Route 66 crossed right over the 1926 to 1937 Route 66, 4th Street. Yes, that gets a little technical and a little complicated, but if you come out here to this intersection, you'll see a Route 66 sign going one way, and then on the opposite corner, a historic Route 66 sign going the other way. It's double Route 66! Double Route 66 signs on every corner. Get your kicks on double 66! Right, I love the metal signage they've put up along Central Avenue for Route 66. That is very cool. And the Central Avenue portion, just in Albuquerque, is 18 miles long. 18 miles worth of old historic buildings, old Route 66 motels and businesses and gas stations. We got a long adventure ahead of us today, so we don't have time for all 18 miles worth, but I do want to check out one other thing on Central Avenue, and then one very epic thing right off Central Avenue. First off, just a couple blocks west of here is something absolutely legendary on Route 66, and honestly, probably even better known than double 66 back there. It's the Doghouse. If memory serves, it originally opened in 1948, a couple blocks away by a guy named Frank Mead. It moved to this location in the 1960s, but moved its iconic 1950s neon wiener dog sign with it it to the new location. Nowadays, it's probably more famous for being featured in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul than for being a Route 66 institution for old Mother Road travelers. That's exactly why it's famous, as well as for its famous tasty hot dogs and Frito pies. And London is going to try something from the doghouse right now, because I have celiac disease and I can't eat hardly anything out here, but he can. All right, we're just out to peruse the menu, look over the menu for a second, because you don't actually order at the window now. They have a car hop that comes to you. So London's pulling around, bringing the car out to the front, and he's gonna make an order. If I know my son at all, though, and I think I do, there's no way he's going for Frito pie. He's like, what the heck is that? All right, the car hop has been lured over to the car. What'd you order, London?
A half-long chili with cheese.
Half-long chili, so half a foot long, I guess. Because the top of the menu says foot-long chili with cheese, so. The perfect road trip food. Chili. Let's put some chili dog in our belly. 6 inches of gurgles. Oh, here it comes. 109. Yeah. Ooh, and there it is. There's the half-long, what is it called? The half-long chili? The half-long?
Chili with cheese.
I don't even see the cheese. I see the chili, though. Now we'll see if it's good. Take it as a bite. Oh, that's a big bite, too. Is it good?
Yeah.
Worth it?
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. He was just complaining. He was like, it's so hot. I'm like, it's called a hot dog, not a cold dog. Anyway, sometime we'll have to come by here and see this dog all lit up with this neon, wagging its neon tail. Right now, we're moving on because we want to see a different animal. Just a couple blocks up from the dog house, literally pretty much walking distance, actually, is this Albuquerque's Old Town. And it may be an old town, but this is a brand new, epic neon sign beckoning in Route 66 visitors. When they realigned Route 66 and created that east-west version on Central Avenue, they ran it right past the oldest part of the city. And for the 100th anniversary, for the centennial celebration, they've put in this new neon sign. I like that. On Route 66 since 1706. Because Albuquerque, indeed, is a very old town established by the Spaniards between Mexico City and their capital up in Santa Fe. It became a part of Mexico in 1821, part of the United States in 1846. It was actually controlled by the Confederates during the Civil War for a time. And there was even some Civil War skirmishing here in Albuquerque. And so now if you come down to the Plaza in Old Town, you've got layers of history dating back from literal conquistadors to Mexican independence history to Mexican-American War history to Civil War history, where some of the haciendas in the Plaza served as basically fortresses, to classic heyday of the American road trip Route 66 history, to Breaking Bad tourism and beyond. Look at this building on the Plaza, Casa de Armijo right here. It houses several businesses now and lots of Native American vendors out front. This was built in 1706 originally, occupied by the Armijo family, and because of its thick adobe walls was literally used as a fort during the various conflicts that played out in Albuquerque, and was restored in 1930 after the big boom in tourism because of Route 66. See, I love walking around places this historic. 300 years of history down here. But for me, for the modern Route 66 traveler who loves roadside attractions, it's got one very special location indeed, the Rattlesnake Museum and Gift Shop, which is technically closed today. Luckily, we've been pretty chummy with the owner for the last couple of years, and so we're about to go inside on cage cleaning day. Get out of here, pigeons, before they feed you to the rattlesnakes. Run for your lives. All right, this is Bob Myers, the owner and operator of the, what is it, American International Rattlesnake Museum.
You got it right.
Is that the full title?
Nobody ever gets it right.
How long have you been here?
36 years.
36 years.
We just hit 36 years on the 5th of May.
That's like more than a third of Route 66's history.
It is.
That you've been part of it. How many animals are in here? 80 something, you said.
81.
Do you know how many poisonous, or venomous, sorry, I almost said poisonous.
Oh, you're good.
How many venomous snakes?
We've got, oh gosh, at least half of those are venomous.
And today is cage cleaning day. So you have to handle all of those venomous snakes.
That's why I've got you in London here.
Oh no! Yeah. You're a brave man, Bob, I was going to
Lighten
say.
up the load here.
Yeah, London, get ready. Dude, look at that. There are so many snakes. There's just something sexy about snakes. That's a joke I always make, and yet I don't always relish touching them, but how'd you get started with snakes? When you were a kid, did you just find one?
I've been into reptiles since I was a little kid. And I tell people my dad thought I had the reptile gene in the family because nobody else was interested. But yeah, I've been into reptiles since I was about 3. And always kept them, always had them at home.
Were you keeping them? So you were keeping them before. Oh, look at that one's camouflaged so well back here. You were keeping them before you had a museum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was a high school biology teacher before this. I don't
Really?
know if I told you that before.
No.
Yeah.
And now you're
for 6 years. That was way too scary, so
There
I
he
went
is.
back to rattlesnakes.
What?
And,
Look at that. Look at that freaking snake right there. Okay, so Bob was telling us about the secret process of getting all the venomous snakes out and feeding them, which we can't show you. It's top secret because
get you down in
you don't
the
want people trying to reach their hands in and grab the rattlesnakes. That would be bad, right?
No.
Oh, I like that you have this. Oh, you have it for glare
see,
reduction.
it's
Look at
for you.
this. Bob's
that help?
professional. It does help. Look at this. This is Gracie. She's normally outside, right, in that thing.
Yeah, she's outside when it's warm enough, and she stays inside when it's not.
But look at that. She got the run of the place whenever the place is closed. Okay, now I just asked you a second ago, and I'm sorry to make you repeat it. If you ever have to catch snakes and you say you have to do rescue operations, right?
We do rescues. People can call us with snakes, nuisance snakes in their yard, and we go pick them up.
So you'll
We
go save people
relocate
from
them.
rattlesnakes.
Oh, we save the rattlesnakes from the people.
Yes.
Yeah, you know how that goes. Yeah, we do that almost every day.
That's crazy.
A couple hundred a year. And yeah, some of them, if they're injured, we bring them back here. If it's the end of the season, you know, it's starting to get cold out, we'll bring them back and hold them here until the spring and then release them.
Ooh, look at that.
He's saying hi.
Okay, so that's a Mexican West Coast rattlesnake. You were saying he's very young and energetic, and he is. He's got his eyes on us right there.
Yes, one of these days he will probably be the biggest snake here.
So how long does it take you to clean out every cage then? Because you have to take each guy out, be careful.
Yeah, well, we do a big cleaning on Mondays. So 3 of us will work for 4 hours probably.
Wow.
Then we do spot cleaning
Look at that.
during the week.
They're so active today. They haven't been looked at all day,
Well,
like normal.
They're doing it for you. Yeah, I wanted to tell you about some of the more potently venomous snakes. This South American rattlesnake probably has the most potent venom among the rattlesnakes.
Okay.
But in North America, in the United States, the tiger rattlesnake here to the left probably has the most potent venom. The Mojave rattlesnake gets so much attention.
Yeah, I was going to say the
for its
Mojave
venom.
green or whatever.
Yeah, just Mojave. But this one probably has a more potent venom. It's a small snake, thank goodness. Not nearly the size of a western diamondback.
Ooh.
Western diamondback is dangerous because of its size.
So if it's bigger, it can squirt more venom into you?
It's got more venom in bigger venom sacs.
And like a bigger reach too, obviously.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it can get you. Oh, I love how active these guys are. All so curious today.
That's the midget faded rattlesnake.
Oh.
Mostly western Colorado and eastern Utah.
So there's so many different ones. I
There
just
are a
always
lot.
think about just the plain old rattlesnake, I guess. Growing up in Southern California, I don't know which one that would be.
Well, in your area, 2 rattlesnakes. The red diamond rattlesnake and the southern Pacific rattlesnake.
Okay, that's the one I think I'm most familiar. But
And it's got a hot venom.
how many
too.
venomous snakes do we have in the United States, like up in North America?
Oh, gosh, probably in the neighborhood of 30, 32.
That's a lot. That's more than I was expecting. Well, I hope I don't step on them. I like how I'm always like, you don't like to use the words like aggressive. You'll say
No.
defensive. You're a defender of the snakes.
Yes.
You're their
Gotta
voice.
be.
Yeah.
Well, they need a voice. They really are not aggressive animals. They're not the kind of animal that'll chase you down. I have a lot of talks with school groups, and we talk about animals out there that think of people as food. Now, maybe we could call them aggressive, and that'd be things like polar bears,
Yeah.
saltwater crocodiles, but not snakes. Snakes keep to themselves. Hikers and campers tell me all the time they haven't seen a rattlesnake in the wild. And I tell them that the snakes have probably seen
Yeah,
them.
they've probably seen you.
And they'll sit still, they'll stay out of the way, they'll be quiet. Their first line of defense is to be quiet, not to sound off. They don't want to, that confrontation. It never goes well for this snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, too, that like rattlesnake museums or displays or the old snake pits or herpetoриums, they're like a Route 66 tradition, but the old school ones were all like really exploitative. Look at the deadly snake. Check out this pit of deadly snakes. What you've done here is something totally different. It's like educational, and you've been teaching people like to understand the snakes
Exactly.
for more than 30 years. on Route 66. You've changed the game, Bob.
Okay. Well, thanks. Yeah, we've been here a long time now. And you were talking, we've been here more than a third of the time that Route 66 has been around. But also, we've been here about, more than a quarter of the time that New Mexico's been a state.
I never thought about that.
And about a seventh of the time that this country's been a country.
That's amazing.
So we've been here a while.
You got some. You don't look that old.
Well, I'm only 14.
Oh, he doesn't like me.
He's coming up to see you. No, he likes you. He's like a puppy dog. He's wagging his tail.
So that's a friendly. It's a friendly rattle.
She's been here since she was born. She's used to seeing people. She just likes to hear herself. Okay. Yeah, this is an emperor scorpion, a big species of scorpion that just came in the other day. It's actually handleable. It's big and scary.
Okay.
But it's handleable. And I just wanted to show you what it looked like under black light. He's way down in that cave. You just can barely
Oh my
see
gosh.
him. Now watch what happens though.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that wild?
Oh, it doesn't like to focus on it. That is a big scorpion. Okay, Bob, I've been out here many times. By the way, this is Bob's friend Daryl. Hey, Daryl, how's it going?
Pretty good.
And
He's got a great hat on, doesn't he?
yes, he does. I have learned a lot from you about the snakes. I've learned to appreciate them and respect them. Where we diverge is the spiders.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever get used to the spiders.
You know, a lot of people have problems with the spiders. Some of these snakes are so big and have such potent venom that they could do some damage, some serious damage, even kill you. And you'd have a problem if you got too close to one of them. But a little spider like that you can stomp the life out
A
of,
little spider.
just scares the heck out of people.
I know. It's something about the legs.
It's got to be too many legs.
They have too many legs, and for some people, snakes have too few.
Right.
You know? That's the issue. It's the number of legs, I think, causes the phobias. Okay, there's a lot more to this museum than just the snakes. But just on the topic of snakes, my favorite part is you have like the rattlesnake liniment. You have the literal snake oil in the display cases.
Yeah.
But then you were showing me your favorite thing
Yeah.
is this. Your dad got that at an antique shop. It's an opium casket. So that's like an opium storage device.
Yeah, it's a humidor for opium.
A humidor
And,
for opium.
Yeah, he got that in the 1930s when he was 5 years old, and had that all his life. It was in his office, and I grew up with that. So when he gave that to us for the Rattlesnake Museum, it meant a lot. Now I actually collect those, and I've got about a dozen of them in our collection.
Did you ever find any opium in any of them?
No, never did.
Okay.
Or, or tobacco.
You have a lot of other stuff in here that makes it like a crazy roadside attraction. You've got your
This is a new thing, the Funko Pops.
the Funko Pops
But
in
all
here.
of these are reptile related.
I love that. Oh yeah, you got Ka up here. Oh look, Mr. Toad. Now, Mr. Toad's not a reptile, Bob. I just caught you out.
He's an amphibian, but he's what we would call a herp, a reptile or amphibian, and so he's
A herp.
He's a herp. These are herps.
We got herps everywhere.
Salamanders are herps, but frogs and toads.
The bad thing about herps
are
is I
herps.
heard you can't get rid of them.
Native American pieces of art, jewelry, pottery, baskets. These are fun on the top shelf. These are called fetishes. They're carved out of stone, different animals, but they become little pieces of art. And I don't know how close you can get to those, but some are just incredibly well done.
That is so cool. See, I'm
Turtle
very
snakes.
tempted to make a connection between fetishes and herps, but I am way too mature to do that.
Yes,
Luckily,
sure you
I'm
are.
very mature. Then this is
the
amazing.
Steve Irwin Memorial. This collection, half of it has been sent to us by our visitors. They see what we've got and they think of something they've been keeping at home in the closet for years, and so they send it on, and we put it out here for display.
So cool.
Up here is his wife Terry's shirt from their early days together.
And now both of his kids are like carrying it on, and Robert and Bindi, and they got their. I follow them on Instagram. I'm always watching them do their thing.
For whatever it's worth, Robert and I share the same first name,
Oh yeah.
the same interest in reptiles, and the same birth date.
So hopefully
he
he'll
and I
come
are-
here one day.
He and I need to have a birthday party together.
What is that?
Molly, the Gila monster.
Molly, the Gila monster.
She will be 38 years old this year, the oldest living Gila monster ever, as far as we know.
Really?
So she's doing amazingly well. Typically, 10 or 20 years is just about it for a Gila monster. So she's really doing well.
38 years old?
38.
Dang, so she's older than the museum.
Older than me.
And almost as old as me.
Uh-huh.
Molly, the Gila monster. Now, Gila monsters are also venomous, right?
They are.
Okay, so that thing could hurt you.
Yeah.
If it wanted to, if it needed
not
to.
kill you, but make you feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
or would want to die. I've known quite a few researchers and zoo workers that have been bitten by Gila monsters. They don't have anything good to say about that.
Right, but if you respect the animals, they'll respect you back.
Yeah, if you see one in the wild, leave it alone, stand back, take some pictures. Fun to show off the pictures, but leave them alone. They don't want to be touched.
Yeah, hashtag don't mess with Molly.
As slow as she lumbers around, if you try to grab her by the tail, she'll let you know how fast she can turn. And you'll be sorry you got that close.
There's so much stuff hiding in this museum. Look at that. True Life Adventure. And this is an original one, right?
That's an original.
An original Walt Disney's True Life Adventure. Prowlers of the Everglades. I like this too over here. Voodoo Rituals on an Island of Evil. Boris Karloff in Snake People. I told you there's just something sexy about snakes.
A lot of those have been sent to us by zoo curators and keepers.
I've never even noticed all of these. I mean, I've seen yours because you've got Python out there. The whole world's seen yours if they've come to the museum. Oh, I like that one. Hiss, hiss. You're never around when I need you.
They all have stories. That Hiss license plate you pointed to was on a Shelby Cobra in a car show here in Albuquerque. And I say, if you ever get rid of that plate, I want to talk to you.
Oh yeah, we can't skip the bottle collection. Right behind the spider. The spiders were distracting me earlier, but
yeah, they do.
I mean, that's amazing.
This series of beers called Tuatara. It's the name of a microbrewery in New Zealand.
That's amazing. Okay. I told Bob I'm going to come back sometime and we'll go room by room because he started doing guided tours now, which is handy because normally you're trapped back there and we don't get this kind of insider information. But look at this.
Private tours.
I had to show this.
Yeah, look at this.
I made it next to the awards onto the door. I feel so honored.
Yeah, well, you're special.
And now we're going to trade hats. Awesome. All right, we spent quite a bit of time with our friends at the Rattlesnake Museum, and now we're off. Got to hit the road. We're going to leave Albuquerque now and head down old Route 66. The question is, like I said, there's two different paths to take, right? The original alignment up to Santa Fe, New Mexico. Do we take that, or do we just head straight east across New Mexico on the Santa Fe Cutoff? Well, we actually wrestled with that question all night last night until I decided that I can't decide, and so we're gonna do both. We're gonna do this the cheat code way. If we cheat and use the freeway, Santa Fe is only about an hour away. And if you can double up on your ancient Spanish towns on Route 66 and do 2 in one day, why wouldn't you? All right, well, we finally left the freeway and met back up with old pre-1937 Route 66 heading into the town of Santa Fe. Not that you'd know to look at it because nowadays, this street is pretty wide and pretty modern, and you're a lot more likely to see a Walmart or a Pueblo architecture-style Panda Express than you are to see an old Route 66 motel. They have widened this road considerably. As the road narrows up ahead, there is one prominent exception to the rule. Welcome to the Rey Court, an original old Route 66 motel built in 1936. Unfortunately, just 1 year before the road out front would no longer be Route 66, right? It would be rerouted through Albuquerque. But originally, it was built as an old school Route 66 adobe style auto court. It would have had garages between the rooms and the whole thing. Fortunately for the Rey, it was one of those rare instances where it survived Route 66, moving away and expanded on into the 50s, keeping that beautiful southwestern Pueblo style of architecture intact. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous property. I mean, the lobby alone today in 2026 is absolutely, completely stunning. It's one of those places with a bar and a restaurant in it now, a spa, a very beautiful pool, tons and tons of cute little courtyards and rooms surrounded by lush greenery. It even has probably the fanciest vending machine room I've ever seen. It was enlarged even more in the 1970s and then again in the 1990s when they purchased the neighboring property, a second hotel called the Alamo Lodge, and incorporated it into the Rey Court. And then in 2015, 16, 17, somewhere right in there, right about the last time I was in Santa Fe, they got a new set of owners that have fully restored the property and made this place like a southwestern gem, a destination in its own right. I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanted to scope it out today because I'd like to stay here in the future. We're not staying here tonight. Like I said, we're trying to have our cake and eat it too. So we're rolling up day tripping into Santa Fe, and then we're gonna cut back down to the later alignment of Route 66 and make our way eastward. But speaking of having your cake and eating it too, look at right across the street behind the first gull-winged old filling station I've seen. There's actually a gluten-free bakery back there. So yeah, last time I was here, it wasn't an option. They were remodeling it. Next time I come here, El Rey is gonna be my destination. All right, and now to roll in to the old town of Santa Fe and see what we can see before sunset. Look at this, the closer that we get to Old Town Santa Fe, the more old school places and old school signs you see. Feels a little bit more Route 66-like. Then again, it's hard to tell what's old and what's recent because a lot of the architecture here, old and new, is built in the same Pueblo style. So the sort of Santa Fe portions of Route 66 are kind of their own complete side quest. I almost feel like I'm just on a scouting mission this time. Maybe I shouldn't give anything away. All right, on to Old Town Santa Fe. Oh yeah, here we go. It's been a while, but I did not misremember this place at all. Santa Fe, New Mexico is one of the oldest cities on the continent, at least in terms of cities founded by Europeans, and it's also, for my money, one of the weirdest, most bizarre, beautiful, but like otherworldly looking places just ever. There's nothing else quite like it. Part of it is that some of these adobe buildings are literally centuries old and they're built at kind of weird, wacky angles. Another part of it might be that almost all the buildings are the same color. Almost everything is sort of tucked into that Pueblo architecture style. Even if it wasn't originally, it's been absorbed into it, with a few notable standout exceptions like this, the original Trading Post. It's one heck of an old building. Maybe they got grandfathered into their own paint scheme. It's just very, very distinctive looking. And then when you add to that the fact that Santa Fe is an incredibly wealthy city and everything for blocks and blocks surrounding the old original plaza is very, very upscale and bougie. There are a lot of boutique stores out here, a lot of jewelry stores, a lot of high-end art galleries, and how do I put this? Stores that sell crystals, if you know what I mean. It's like every other shop feels like it's actually illegal for me to enter because of my bank balance, you know? But luckily for me, it's not all just high-end shops. There's a ton of history out here as well, like this over here, the Palace of the Governors, which, just like the plaza sitting in front of it, dates back to 1610. This was the literal Spanish fortress that was the seat of the Spanish government up here, and then of course later the Mexican government, and then later the US government at first. This carved wooden sign says out front, from 1610 to 1910, the residence of over 100 governors and captains general, the oldest public building in the United States. And now, of course, a museum, which is closed at the moment. Like I say, I gotta make another Santa Fe trip soon. But there is 416 years of history in this Palace of the Governors, and a lot of other surrounding surviving landmarks as well that really puts the 100 years of Route 66 history to shame. And much like Albuquerque, down south, Santa Fe was overrun by the Confederate Army at one point, and our brave boys in blue had to wrestle it back from them in the New Mexico campaign, so Battle of Glorieta Pass, all that kind of stuff. And right here in the middle of the ancient Spanish Plaza, there's actually a Union memorial for the Union soldiers of the Federal Army who fell at the Battle of Valverde, fought with the rebels February 21st, 1862. There's a lot of other history up here, like the Pueblo Revolt, when the Native Americans rose up against the Spanish and conquered them, and then the Spanish came and reconquered them. Then, of course, there are the railroad days and the early days of Route 66 and tourism, American tourism, coming to Santa Fe, which is where we get the weirdest freaking looking building in the world right here. I don't know what to call that architecture except for Pueblo Plus, right? This is La Fonda on the Plaza, one of the craziest looking hotels I have ever seen constructed in the early 1920s by a group of Santa Fe businessmen to capitalize on Santa Fe reinventing itself as a tourist town as the railroad was coming in just before the highway period, just before Route 66. Because after all, if you wanted to attract masses of early railroad travelers, you had to give them somewhere nice to stay, right? Well, they succeeded, and not just in somewhere nice to stay, but someplace very unusual, very one of a kind. La Fonda has a long and complicated history. It sits smack in the middle of the most historic buildings in Santa Fe. But the gist of it is, after it was built, it was actually purchased by the railroad, and then operations were turned over to the Fred Harvey Company. Those are the same people who built all those sumptuous railroad palaces throughout the Southwest and had the famous Harvey girls as the waitresses and hostesses. And then of course in 1926, the brand new US highway, Route 66, not only came right by the plaza here, but actually took a hard right turn right in front of La Fonda. I know it's meant to evoke like a Pueblo style of architecture, but man, especially that first view of it you get from the plaza, it is the craziest, most Star Wars looking building I've ever seen in the United States. And like I said, it is literally sitting smack dab in the midst of the most historic and important buildings in Santa Fe, like this right here, the impressive 1860s Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. You can really see why Santa Fe was such a popular tourist destination. I mean, there's an impressive building around every corner, whether it's because of its sheer visual impact or, of course, the long and basically ancient history, not just of Santa Fe in terms of European settlement, but also of the region in terms of Native American occupation, which goes back, 10,000 years. There's also 80 billion museums up here. And speaking of museums and history, that includes historic churches, including the oldest church in America, as they call it, and the oldest house in America, as well as countless interesting little shops and courtyards and restaurants and alleys and old buildings, like I keep saying. Like all these buildings here, all these properties can trace their lineage back before the 1680s. It is all mind-blowing and impressive. And when I was here back in 2017 with you guys for Randomland, we went to the oldest house in America, the oldest church in America, the Palace of the Governors, the New Mexico History Museum behind it. I cannot wait to do all that stuff again someday. But for the moment, for right now, I am so freaking hungry, I can't think about anything else. And you know how I was saying Santa Fe is super bougie? Well, it's also super, super hipstery. This is like the mecca for broad-brimmed hat, kind of drapey, hippies, southwesterny looking hipsters. And as most of you know, I do have celiac disease, which means I have to eat all gluten-free. Let's just hope that all these hipsters mean that the rumors I heard are true and that there's a gluten-free restaurant up here. Supposedly down the main drag here, down San Francisco Street. I will find sustenance, and I better find it soon because my brain is starting to shut down. London is smiling in the background because I keep mispronouncing words. I can't remember my name. Brain no dude thing with brain good, low brain. Oh, here it is. Apothecary, curated dining, handcrafted elixirs, tea house, oxygen breathing bar. And clearly they have a lot of interesting beliefs here, but let's hope that the belief in being gluten-free is the strongest one. These are the kind of places that usually bring out my inner Hank Hill, like, what's going on here? But anything. I'm starving. I've got to open my mind. Open my mind to the healing inside. Anything but the aliens. I'm never opening my mind to those. Okay, that was one bizarre and esoteric restaurant with all kinds of weird health products and spa treatments and weird things going on in addition to the food. But the food was amazing. Oh my gosh, the bison burger was so big and juicy and tender and good. I was that guy, and I was taking pictures of my food. With no shame in the game either. Anyway, I don't know if you could tell, but before that, as we got to Santa Fe, I was like, isn't this great, Santa Fe? I had no energy at all. Now I have so much friggin' energy. Now I've got the power of the bison and the power of the burro, because I'm standing here in Burro Alley, and this is where Santa Fe's wood deliveries would come on the backs of donkeys. Way back in the day, we're talking 1700s, they used to all have to park right here in this alley. It's still known as Burro Alley to this day. There are no more, well, there's no more livestock here other than humans, but they do have this bronze donkey right here, and I'm assuming that this is where there was some kind of historical information about that, but it is blank. It is a literal blank slate. We can rewrite history. Oh my gosh, what the heck is that thing? The spirits are escaping the Apothecary Cafe. Anyway, I do like the Southwest vibe, right? Like, I am into it. I am absolutely fascinated by all forms of American history, and it doesn't get more American history than the history of the Native Americans, right? And then, of course, you have the Spanish and Mexican colonial history, and then the English and United States colonial history, and the Southwest is where they all kind of collide together, right? It's not just cowboy stuff, although there is plenty of cowboy stuff out here as well. But it's this amazing mix of the history of empires, the history of indigenous people, and the history of technologies. Of course, 100 years ago, the new high-tech thing was the American paved road and the numbered interlinked U.S. highway system, Route 66, which cut right through the heart of the historical landscape, and now, instead of being that newfangled technological highway coming through town, has reached the age of 100 years old. It's existed for a quarter of Santa Fe's history, and so now even in Santa Fe, they've got to say, oh yeah, it's been here for a while. All right, we're tired. We have a long way to go yet. I do want to come back to Santa Fe sometime and get deeper into the history. But mainly today, I just wanted to make sure that London got to see it, and then by extension, of course, you guys got to see it with me. Plus, this is sort of our cheat code way of doing both routes of Route 66. Ooh, but real quick, before we leave the city of Santa Fe entirely, there's just 2 more spots we gotta look at as the sun goes down in the west. And then we're gonna be going hardcore Route 66 all the way to Chicago. I teased them earlier, and we did film in them about 10 years ago or so. It is this, the oldest house in the USA, literally right across the street from it, the San Miguel Mission, or the oldest church in the USA, which was also started, I believe, back in 1610. So a 400-year-old church, which I know you Europeans are laughing, but for us Americans, that's impressive. It was obviously built using Native American labor, and the Pueblo Revolt actually burned it down, but a new roof was added 1694. And it's been going basically ever since, either being repaired or being used as a church, which is kind of amazing. Now, there are still pueblos in, even in New Mexico that are older than this church and older than this house over here. So are they really the oldest house? Plus, I know in St. Augustine, Florida, there are some other early Spanish buildings that like to argue for the title of what's oldest, and some of their historians like, well, they actually really didn't use it in this year, and this, we'll let scholars and actually people from forums argue that out, but for our purposes now on Route 66, this is the oldest house in America, or at least the oldest house on the route. There's sort of like the more museum and gift shop part, and then this is the actual oldest house right here with these old ancient adobe walls dating back to, I think, the 1640s when it comes to the oldest house. Just in front of the San Miguel Church, and by extension, just in front of the oldest house, this is actually the oldest alignment, the 1926 alignment of Route 66 right here, because this is also the old Santa Fe Trail. Right here where we're standing, you can see that Route 66 Centennial flag right up there on the pole. And what amazing timing to be out here right when they're ringing the bells. Wait a minute. For whom the bell tolls? Is the bell tolling for us? I think the bell is tolling for us because our mission to the mission and up to Santa Fe is over for the day. And now London, who's very impressed, right, London? You're very impressed? On a scale of 1 to 10, how impressed are you?
It's old.
And now London and I are gonna leave Santa Fe and the things that are old and cut down between the original alignment of Route 66 to things that are less old, the post-1937 part of Route 66. So we're gonna get on the highway and I'll show you where we're staying the night at a historic Route 66 motel. Gotta tell you, it's kind of cool for nerds like me to be driving around up here, because the first part of our journey out of here, we're on the old Santa Fe and the old Pecos Trail, and then of course we're going to more modern highways, making our way down to Moriarty. Well, that wasn't a very far drive, only about an hour, but it was one of those hours where the last half an hour of it feels like 10 hours, and then it feels like 12 hours in the last minute. Felt pretty long, but we did eventually find old Route 66 again, and better yet, a historic Route 66 motel that I've never stayed at before. The Sunset Motel, the only motel in New Mexico on Route 66, still owned by the original family that opened it and still maintained ever since the beginning. Can't wait to show you the room, but that's gonna have to wait until tomorrow because I am bushed, my friends. For today, anyway, we've done our duty. Remember that all these adventures are funded by viewers like you. There would be no channel without no viewers. We're kind of like PBS in that way, right? We don't have any sponsorships or anything. It's all funded through watching these videos, through our generous Patreon members who make this all possible, really, and through our merch store. And you can find links to all of those things at randomland.com. Hey, you know what? It's fast and free to like, subscribe, share this video with a friend, and if you do that, you also have my thanks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for making it all the way to the very end. You've done your duty. You can go home and sleep well. London, guess what? Right behind you. It's the world's oldest house. It's the oldest house in the world. What do you think of that?
It's also pretty old.
Yes, it's the oldest house in the world. Did you know that?
Yes.
In the world, it's the world's oldest house in the world. It's the oldest house in the world. The oldest one. That guy is riding a bike and listening to songs in front of the oldest house in the world. It's the oldest house ever, ever, ever. It's the house of Adam and Eve. It's the oldest house in the world. It's super neat. Those stickers are really hard to peel, huh? Look at it. Look how cute it is. Isn't it adorable? Oh, you got it. I helped. It's the oldest freaking house in the world. The oldest house in the world. The oldest house ever in the whole wide world. That's what I'm saying.